What's poppin', everybody? It's a Sable594. Welcome to another joyous occasion of a deck profile from the Diamond and Pearl era. I'm always very happy to show these. Today we're going to be looking at a Rhyperior deck, Rhyperior level X deck. This was the biggest HP-wise level X card from the DP era. And probably most people, when they think about this card, they're going to think about the Rhyperior deck. Its most famous use, I suppose, New Prime from the Triumphant set. This deck has nothing to do with that, but I just thought I'd mention it. It's just going to be a straight Rhyperior fighting deck. You guys are going to see. So let's go ahead and start. As always, I mentioned what the legal sets are. This is a straight Diamond or Pearl format deck. DP, original DP base set through the Platinum Arceus set. No hard gold sets once again. But yeah, that would be a slightly different format. But anyway, I mean, in this era, I guess where Garchomp doesn't have DC, I mean, this card might fare better. Format not as difficult. So first card is going to be the one Rhyperior level X. As I mentioned, it has the biggest HP as far as level X's are concerned. I think, yeah, 170. I don't think anybody else exceeded that or matched that. So that's pretty good upgrade. Lightning resistance is great. Water weakness is very troublesome, but because his HP is so much, really the only water Pokemon that are going to give you a difficult time is Gyarados when it can do 90 for free. And maybe some other Pokemon like, I guess, Empoleon if they get powered up. And then they can hit you for double. If they can do like 90 damage or more, then it can be troublesome. But even Kindra, I mean, with an expert belt, it's going to do 160. So it needs like a Crobat drop or something to finish you off. So times 2 water, it's a bad weakness. There's a lot of strong water Pokemon, but you know, is a big guy. It won't be easy to one-hit KO for sure. Now the Hard Crush attack, it's a costless attack, is the thing that sort of made him with the New Prime, the Rhyperior deck. We're not really going to exploit this unless I'm confident I have a lot of energies left in the deck and not much else. And out of desperation. And even up throw isn't really an attack that we're going to try and utilize. I have him here as the extra HP, you know, upgrade. Pretty much that's it. And even if you're playing against water, you probably don't even want to bother leveling up because of the times 2. The other ones are just weak to plus 30. I mean, up throw can still be decent. 60 for 3, and then we grab all of the fighting energies, go back into the deck. And I suppose it's the synergy with you're going to use up throw, then you get all the fighting energies back, and then you can do hard crash to discard them and hopefully do damage. But not exactly what we're going to try and do. But anyway, that's Rhyperior. Next up, we got 2 of the Supreme Victor's Rhyperior and one of the Diamond or Pearl ones, the original one, I guess. So I guess maybe, okay, I'll do it like this because I think there's shadow in the back. So these guys from the Supreme Victor set, this is the main Rhyperior we're going to take advantage of. 140 HP stage 2, really good. Once again, the lightning resistance, really nice against Luxray and other lightning Pokemon. Plus 30 for water weakness. This makes it much more manageable to deal with water Pokemon. Even Gyarados, although that's going to be a tough matchup because of his resistance too. But the point of this card is the Raging Drill attack. This is just a 30 for 2 attack, but it's going to be much stronger depending on the damage counters for Rhyperior. So with 140 HP, they're not really going to be able to KO it easily. Obviously, decks like Luxchamp are going to try maybe to play around him and hit your other Pokemon on the bench, but they can only do that for so long, especially if we leave these guys on their own. They're going to have to hit these guys, and they're not going to get the big KO, and then we can just hit back really hard with Raging Drill. Even if they hurt him a little bit, you know, just 40 damage, you're doing 70 for 2. This is respectable. And if you do build up the Deep Scrap attack, this is pretty good as well. If you knock out a Pokemon with this attack, you're going to mill 3 cards from your opponent's deck, and that's pretty devastating. You get a little bit of synergy with the Diamond and Pearl Rhyperior. I decided to throw this guy in too. Really nice holographic card. All of the ones from the original Diamond and Pearl set. Awesome. His attack isn't very good. Rock Wrecker, 80 for 3. It's a decent chunk of damage, but not for 3 energies. And the most annoying part is that it's not going to hit for weakness. It's not going to be affected by resistance either, but that's not really too much of an issue, especially because, well, I guess I'll mention it later. But it really sucks that we can't hit for weakness. It means that if you're going to attack with this against a Luxray, you can't get the one-hit KO, which is the main appeal of using fighting Pokemon, being able to KO that problematic Pokemon. But I do one of this as opposed to the third Supreme Victor's Rhyperior because of the Earth Fissure Poke Power. When you evolve into this guy, you get to instantly discard the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck. And this is pretty hardcore, man. Losing important cards like that, you never know what they're going to have to discard. I mean, it could seal the game right there if you discard some key Pokemon or some key trainer cards or whatever you discard. It's always going to sting. Almost always. So that's why I do 2 and 1. And obviously for the level X, that's 4. Can't run more stage 2s than that. Okay. Next up for the stage 1s, gonna be doing double of the Rhydon from Supreme Victors. You basically only have this option for Supreme Victors and the original Diamond and Pearl set. This one is better. The other one has maybe a better first attack, but not quite. This one is much cheaper, just 1 energy. The other one needs 2, but it can get rid of stadiums too. This you get to flip coins. And maybe you'll do 20 for 1, 40 for 1, or if you're super lucky, 60 for 1. But the second attack is much better. 60 for 3, not going to be affected by resistance. This guy is a stage 1 because Rhydon is one of those Pokemon that didn't get its 3rd evolution till the Diamond and Pearl era. You know, it has 90 HP, it's pretty respectable. Rock Tumble, a respectable attack too. So that's why I do 2, because even if you don't get Rhyperior out, and you power up this guy, I can still kill Luxray. You can put in some work. Just plus 20 for water weakness, the same lightning resistance, useful stuff. Good little stage 1. And I think, yeah, the Diamond and Pearl one has a double retreat cost, but for the most part, this is the better card to run. Alright. And then for the Rhyhorn, we do 4 of the one from Supreme Victors once again. So just a basic Pokemon, 70 HP, really good, lightning resistance, really nice once again, can always be handy. The other one, the Diamond and Pearl one, has easier to use attacks, like with 1 energy attack, but this one has 70 HP, the other one has 60, so definitely value that more. And 50 for 3, who knows, maybe it'll come up once again. So that's our basic. Alright, and now for the helpers. We got 1 Groudon. Now, to be honest, if I had more than 1 of this guy, I would have probably built the deck much differently. But because I only have 1, we're going to use a different engine alongside him. But if you open with Groudon, it's really good. You can use Drought, get 2 basic fighting energies from your hand, and attach them to one of our Pokemon. This is our way to, or one of our ways to quickly power up Rhyperior. We just want to get 2 energies on him so we can start doing Rage. And then if our opponent hurt us, we're just going to hurt them back even more. So that's the point. And maybe you can power himself up too. Major Earthquake does 100 for 3. And it's going to hit all of your guys for 10 damage too, which I guess has a little bit of synergy with Rhyperior. But he's mostly as a support Pokemon. 100 HP, really big basic. I feel safe if I open with this guy. They're not going to KO it unless it's Machamp or something with Takeout. Lightning resistance once again, and the grass weakness gives us a little bit of variety. So that's pretty good. And yeah, you never know, it might even come up. 100 for 3 isn't too bad. You got to discard the 2 fighting energies afterwards, and you're going to hurt your guys too. But it's a backup Pokemon, can put in some work. Alright. And because we don't have, I only got 1 Groudon, we're going to use a Solrock Lunatone engine. I've showcased these cards before in a Swamper deck, and the idea is kind of the same. This guy can be used for energy acceleration, and then with Lunatone we get a little bit of draw power too. But it's a nice little fighting Pokemon, 70 HP basic, grass weakness a little bit. Once again, some slight variety. And you can do 20 for 1, respectable, and then grab a fighting or any basic energy from the discard pile and attach it to a Pokemon. But I just have fighting in this deck. So it gives us a little bit of energy acceleration while putting pressure. So it's really good. And we get some other tricks as well after I show you guys the Lunatones. But that's basically it. It's Pokebody. It's gonna make, I guess, yeah, your Pokemon, I think, wait. Yeah, it affects everybody. It's not just Lunatone and Solrock. Any of your Psychic or Fighting Pokemon won't be affected by resistance. So this is why the Diamond and Pearl Rhyperior's attack, the resistance thing doesn't really matter. But anyway, the main reason we use this is for Soul Charge. Okay. So Lunatone is next. Do 3 of the Great Encounters Lunatone. And by the way, this is from Great Encounters too. 3 of this one with Gravity Change. If we have this Lunatone out with Solrock, any Solrock, you can discard a card and draw a card. So it gives me that little bit of a mini draw power without getting something like Claydol out. So it's gonna work as kind of a different substitute. That's about it. I mean, knock over just 20 for 1. Maybe you can come up if you open with it and you discard a Stadium, but you're probably going to want to get him out of the way and use Solrock. But yeah, just draw power with Solrock. It's the combo together. And we also have another secret weapon with Lunatone. This Lunatone from Supreme Victors. So this card is really nice. I didn't even realize this guy had this effect till much later, but with Marvel Eyes, if we have this in any Solrock, our Lunatone and Solrock can't be hurt by level X Pokemon. So if your opponent uses like Lux Chomp and they think, oh, I'm just gonna snipe around with Garchomp, avoid the Rhyperior, and just snipe and pull the little guys, you know, Lunatone and Solrock, and just kill my opponent that way. As long as this guy is out, they won't be affected. So it's really nice because they're both level X Pokemon, both Luxray and Garchomp. It's obviously going to be effective against any Pokemon level X, which are the thing in Diamond and Pearl. So that's really good. Nice to have them as opposed to the 4th Lunatone. And it is, you know, you do got to note, you kind of need them together with Solrock. Otherwise, this guy can't really draw you cards. So having this is really nice as well. And it has free retreat, which is beautiful too. So if you open with it, you can move it out of the way and put something like a Groudon or a Solrock. Alright. And then the last Pokemon is a Uxie. Just one of this for general heavy-duty draw power with setup. And it's just 20 Pokemon. I didn't really want to put in Claydol. I guess you could. And other tech Pokemon. I thought of maybe putting something else like Rotom, maybe to hit water Pokemon, but it wouldn't be that effective. It's gonna die too quickly. We don't really have the energy acceleration like with Magmortar, you know, that consistent energy acceleration with Typhlosions. So I just decided to keep it sort of vanilla, just Rhyperior, and then the rest of the guys are support, and that's about it. So these are the Pokemon. We got supporters next. It's gonna be triple Rosane's Research. This is important to get Pokemon, of course, and energy acceleration, get our basics, and get our basic energies too. So we can discard them with Lunatone, attach them with Solrock, the little combo. Make sure we have manual attachments for every turn. Important supporter card. Do 3 of her. Then we do 4 Felicity's Drawing. Man, I'm not gonna lie, this camera setup isn't great today, but I'm doing a lot of experiments. I can't make these camera videos every day anyway, but I think you guys can see the cards well still, even if I hold them like this. But Felicity's Drawing, just another very good supporter that gives us double utility in this deck. Discard Outlet, discard 1 or 2 cards, and then if you discarded 2, which is the main thing we want to do, then you draw 4 cards, which is really nice straight draw. We can do this, of course, to discard the fighting energies, but once we get like a few Lunatones and maybe 1 or maybe at best 2 Solroks down, you don't really need the other ones. We just sort of have enough for them to open with them, have enough basic Pokemon. So you do have a bunch of cards that you're not going to care to discard. So it's a nice way to get rid of the cards you don't need and draw extra cards. So she's really good. Definitely max her out. Okay. Then I do 1 of Cynthia's Feelings. This is a nice tech supporter that when your opponent gets a KO, you can use this and shuffle your hand and draw 8 cards basically. Without the bonus, you just shuffle and draw 4, which is a bit weak. But use it at the right time. Drawing 8 is extremely good. Perhaps I should run more because, you know, we do run a few Pokemon that are kind of on the average low HP, like Solrock and Lunatone. But the point is that at least Solrock is going to take 1 hit. I don't want them to be dying in 1 shot completely. So don't want to over rely on this, and we've got Via Seeker too, I guess, if I have to reuse it. But just 1 tech, Cynthia's Feelings, should be good enough. Then we do 1 Professor Oak's Visit. Straight draw once again. Get rid of a card we don't need and put it in the back of the deck as opposed to discarding it. I think that's good enough. We don't have, you know, Professor Oak's New Theory. This isn't when the Heart Gold sets came in. This is DP through Arceus. So a card like this has more merit. Really nice. And then 1 BB Search. I've mentioned in other videos how I feel about this card. It's great, of course, instant Pokemon fetcher, but because it's just a 1, gives you 1 card, you spend your supporter, you got to put a card from your hand into the deck. I don't want to over rely on it, especially when you need to see a couple of things and this is your only supporter in hand. She's not going to help you out a lot. I mean, I guess, yeah, she can fetch Uxie, but I'm not going to be running a bunch of these just for that play. So just 1, hopefully to get the Rhyperior at the right time. You can play it through Item Lock 2, Trainer Lock, which can hurt us in this deck against Gengar. But yeah, I mean, just 1. And these are the supporters. 10, I think it's 10 supporter cards. Then we got the 1 Stark Mountain. I just have this just to have 1 counter stadium, I guess, just something to throw down. I mean, we can make use of this effect, especially if we have a switch and then we can make a play. 1 of our Pokemon survive and then I can just switch, move the fighting energy and just do stuff like that. But it's mostly here as a counter stadium. There isn't really any other counter stadium I can use that's going to benefit us. I thought of putting Snow Point Temple from the same set, Legends Awakened, but it's going to give Solrock 90 HP, which is nice as a basic Pokemon, but it's going to help out all the SP decks too that you're going to play against, and I don't like that. It also, Snow Point Temple isn't going to help Rhyperior. I mean, if it would help Rhyperior in some way, like give that guy HP too, then I would have definitely considered it, but it doesn't help Rhyperior. It's going to help out opposing SPs, so just do Stark Mountain and maybe it'll come up sometimes, you never know. Then we got 4 Rare Candy, standard for a Stage 2 deck. You could also do like, you could definitely build this deck with a Spiritomb engine, you know, Broken Time Space, and go that direction, put in Claydolls, but I decided to go for a Groudon Solrock engine for this one. And ideally, if I had more Groudons, I would have fully focused on that and maybe run Claydol, maybe just run things differently. But Rare Candy, just get our Stage 2 instantly, really good. The 1 Luxury Ball, get any Pokemon except level X, great card. And then I do 1 Energy Search. I do this because I don't have 4 Poké Draws. I'll mention that later, but this is still kind of good get us a basic energy to discard, search a card, consistent card at the end of the day. But if I had the 4th poker drawer, I would do 4 poker drawers. But I just have 3 in real life, so gotta work with what we have. This is really nice. It's gonna suck against, Spirit Tomb and just any sort of trainer lock, obviously. But it's kind of good too. If you see 2 of these together, you can grab any 2 cards from your deck, which is really nice. And because I do have a lot of straight draw, through Felicity, through Lunatone, and if we get to utilize Lunatone turn after turn, just discard and draw, discard and draw, you could maybe dig for the second one. If you see the first one, maybe don't play it immediately. Try and dig for the second one, with Lunatone. And maybe if you get lucky, you see 2 together, and then you can grab any 2 cards. So it's nice. But if you don't know, basically this is like a draw card, just straight draw. And if you use 2 of them, you can grab any 2 cards. So it's really nice. The 1 via Seeker, Supporter Recovery. Good card. Maybe you can reuse Cynthia or another supporter that I only have like a 1 of. Maybe even BB Search. You never know. 1 Pokemon Rescue. Any Pokemon Recovery to the hand. Quite nice. Usually we'll get Rhyperior with this. Maybe Rhyperior level X even. And maybe Groudon. I don't know. You probably don't want to recover something like Solrock because we have enough of those. Something significant you probably want to get. Maybe even like a Rhyhorn. Night Maintenance. This is general recovery. Energies and Pokemon go back into the deck. And this is pretty good because once the game sort of grinds itself out, and then we've played up a bunch of cards, we don't have a lot of cards left in the deck, and we can do this, put in a few energies, then maybe we can use Rhyperior level X's first attack. Maybe if you hit like 2 energies, you get lucky, you can do 100 damage, which is nice. So little things like that, but the purpose is for recovery. But you gotta be mindful of these plays as well, the cards in your deck, how many energies you got left for Rhyperior level X's first attack. Alright, then we got double switch. Maybe 1 is enough, but I have the space, to be honest, in this deck, so that's why I did Poker Draw, decided to do this. I don't want to do Claydol because I have too many Pokemon. Ideally, you would want to drop the whole Lunatone Solrock engine, even though it's cool. There are 8 cards basically, take up a lot of space, and then do the Groudons, do something like a Claydol, especially if it's an only DP format. Garchomp C-Level X won't be as fast, so it's not going to be killing the dude instantly, with a snipe. But yeah, got extra space, used a few different cards like Poker Draw. I don't commonly use that card. And we have more space for text like Double Switch. We do have a bunch of big retreating Pokemon like Rhyperior, so it's good to move them out of the way if we have to. Alright, and then that's basically the deck. The rest of the cards is just fighting energies. I'm pretty sure it's 15, but let's count them. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So yeah, 15 energies. We do want to have enough for manual attachments and to discard with Lunatone. Grab them back with Solrock, the little combo. Put in pressure and power up our guys on the bench. That's what you want to do. And this is the deck, guys. Cool Rhyperior deck. This is one way to build it. Obviously, don't get the idea like it's going to be the best deck in the format. But it's definitely a way to utilize this guy with his large HP. If your opponent isn't prepared for it, and if you get a good little fast setup, he's going to be rough. If they got to hit this guy, his attack is going to be much stronger, the Rage and Drill attack. You're going to hurt them back. Fighting is a nice type to have. It's going to keep Pokemon like X-Ray for weakness. And it's just a cool card, for sure. The deck discarding can also help. This guy's attack too. you know, you can sort of build them up, especially if they decide to just neglect this guy and then target Lunar Tones and stuff. You can build the 4 energy attack too with a little help with Soul Rock, and discard even more energies, discard even more cards from the deck. But anyways, this is the deck, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel, leave a like, share this video with your friends, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Wazay!